Ukraine's third largest city, Mariupol, has become a massive strategic target. Close to Crimea and Ukraine's two breakaway regions, it has seen some of the fiercest fighting since Russia's invasion. For 26 days now, Mariupol has been under siege. Residents have been left with little food, water and electricity. Russia has said that the terrible human catastrophe is because the Ukrainian army is refusing to give up. Ukraine, on its part, has rejected any call to surrender the port city.
It's the final battle for Mariupol. The crucial port city of Ukraine is under siege. An all-out assault is happening as we speak by Russia to capture this town. Once a beautiful, bustling metropolis, it now has become hell on earth for residents, with Russian troops very close now to the heart of the city. As they look to capture this crucial urban center on the Azov Sea coast, they've sent out an offer to Ukrainian troops to raise the white flag in Mariupol and move out. But Ukraine is refusing to give in or budge from their city. Ukrainian officials have defiantly rejected the Russian offer to Ukrainian forces to lay down their arms and surrender. The Deputy Prime Minister of the country responded with a clear no to Moscow's offer. Ukraine has been putting up a brave face, but on the ground things are going from bad to worse visibly. Russia over the weekend bombed an art school that was converted into a shelter with 400-odd civilians inside. President Zelensky referred to the strike as the work of a mass murderer, putting the global spotlight on the city of Mariupol. Hundreds of residents still remain stranded in the port city and are fast running out of food and water. With non-stop shelling, people are forced to stay underground, coming up only to bid farewell to their loved ones and burying them anywhere they find space.
We have been in a basement for 11 days. This is the 25th day of war. We have been counting every one of them. We hope for the best, to live as humans. The apartments have been broken. Everything is broken. Where can we go from the basement? We are cooking at a fire. For now, we have some food and some firewood. In a week, we will have nothing, no food at all. What should we do?
But why is President Putin hell-bent on grabbing Mariupol? For starters, capturing this city would mean a full 100% control of the Sea of Azov. It's also just 50 kilometers from Russia and 85 kilometers from the Donetsk and Lugansk regions, both Russian-held. Putin is doing everything he can to get Mariupol to surrender, because it will help him extend dominance over Crimea. And the Russian president's Mariupol plan has led to unprecedented civilian casualties, a children's hospital bombed, mass graves in the heart of the city, and even shelters completely destroyed. With Rajesh Pawar in Kyiv, Ukraine, Bureau Report, India Today.
The city of Mariupol in Ukraine is of great strategic importance to President Vladimir Putin. It is an irritant that lies bang in the middle of Russia's grabbed areas to its east and west. It's an irritant that had not allowed itself to be captured in 2014. It's an irritant also because it dared to hold out for 25 days against one of the most powerful armies in the world. And Putin does not take defiance well. He knows that when a city does not bow before him, he can and will reduce it to rubble. He had done that to Grozny in Chechnya, and he'd done it to Aleppo in Syria. Now he's doing the same to Mariupol.
This is not the first time that Mariupol has been attacked by Russian forces. And this is not the first time that the city has resisted. Russia tried to annex Mariupol in 2014 when it ate up Crimea and supported an uprising against Ukraine in the eastern regions of Donetsk and Luhansk. Russia needed Mariupol to connect Crimea with the pro-Russian regions. What Russia could not achieve in 2014 is what it is trying to get in 2022. And if not then, Putin's army is ready to lay waste this city of Ukraine now. Mariupol in southeastern Ukraine is a business hub, exporting coal, steel, machinery and grain. Mariupol has large iron and steel works, as well as ship repairing units and fish canning factories. The city lies along the estuary of rivers, 10 kilometers from the Sea of Azov. A large fishing fleet used Mariupol as a base with a dredged channel leading to the open sea. Mariupol was home to some 450,000 people before the Russian bombs began falling on the city. Russian forces have totally encircled the city. There is no electricity, no water, nor gas. Under constant attack, the people of Mariupol spend most of their days in shelters and basements, rarely coming outside. Ukraine says around 300,000 people are still trapped in the city. Food and medical supplies are running out, and they say that Russia is blocking the entry of humanitarian aid to Mariupol. The roads out of the city are mined, and the waterway out to the sea is blocked. Over the last few days itself, Russian attacks have hit a hospital, a church, and countless apartment blocks. One of the biggest iron and steel works in Europe has been hit. And the estimates are that about 80% of Mariupol's residential buildings are either damaged or destroyed, many of them beyond repair.
Negotiations about peace, about security for us, about security for Ukraine are substantial, fair, and without delays. This is the only chance for Russia to reduce the harm from its own mistakes. We were always insisting on the negotiations. We were always offering dialogue, offering a solution for peace. I want everyone to hear me now.
On 16th March, Russia bombed a theater where 1,000 people were believed to have taken refuge. No one knows how many died and how many survived. Sources inside Mariupol administration say there are survivors still trapped inside. Maxar technology, which analyzes and posts satellite imagery, said that its satellite images captured the word children, written in large white letters in front of and behind the theater. The word was written in Russian. The theater was still bombed. The city council of Mariupol in a telegram message said Russian forces purposefully destroyed the drama theater in the heart of Mariupol, and that a plane dropped a bomb on a building where hundreds of residents were hiding. Moscow has denied bombing the theater or targeting civilians. On Sunday, 20th of March, Russian bombs fell on an art school in Mariupol. Ukrainian officials say there were around 400 people who were inside seeking shelter, thinking that a marked school would be spared. It was not. The extent of damage and casualty is still not known.
Our hearts are broken by what Russia is doing to our people, to our Mariupol, to the Donetsk region. They are under the rubble, and we don't know how many of them have survived. But we know that we will certainly shoot down the pilot who dropped that bomb, like about other 100 such mass murderers whom we already have downed.
According to news agency AP, the dead in Mariupol are being buried in mass graves. There is no other option left, and the dead include children. The bodies of children all lie here, dumped into a hastily dug narrow trench in the frozen earth of Mariupol, reports AP. There is 18-month-old Kirill, whose shrapnel wound to the head proved too much for his little toddler's body. There is 16-year-old Ilya, whose legs were blown up in an explosion during a soccer game at a school field. There is the girl no older than 6, who wore pajamas with cartoon unicorns, among the first of Mariupol's children to die from a Russian shell. AP reports there are other dead bodies as well, not just the young, but older ones. Workers toss the bodies as fast as they can, because the less time they spend in the open, the better their own chances of survival. Death stalks Mariupol. Days ago, bombs rained down on a hospital, one of several medical facilities that seem to have been directly targeted. The cost in civilian lives keep mounting. The woman on the stretcher died, and a child was delivered stillborn. The city officials of Mariupol say that they have records of around 2,500 civilian deaths in the city. But the numbers would be more, because there are dead bodies all around that couldn't be collected because it is too dangerous. And Russia continues to fire rockets and bombs from the land, from air, and from sea towards Mariupol.
Is there any real hope for a ceasefire, for some outcome from the negotiations and dialogue that are on between the Ukrainian and Russian leaders, or will the misery just continue piling across Ukraine, with both countries taking a big hit? Joining us on this broadcast is Ukrainian Member of Parliament Alexei Goncharenko. Also with us from Moscow for a Russian perspective, Tatiana Kokoreva, Deputy Head at Sputnik News, and our very own Rajesh Pawar joins us. He's reporting from Kiev. I want to go across to Rajesh Pawar first for a ground report on what's been happening on day 26 as the battle for Kiev, and especially so much information, so much misery coming out of Mariupol. It almost seems as if the Russian army, in its attack in Mariupol, wants to be sending the entire country a very strong lesson.
Look, Rahul, as far as Kiev is concerned, there were two big explosions yesterday in the afternoon. There was no explosion in the night, and there were again two explosions today morning. So Kiev, as we see, has not been bombarded too much. Even in the outskirts, be it in Bucha, be it in Irpin, be it in Gostomel, be it in Brovary, in the outskirts of Kiev, the fighting has more or less come to a halt. It's more like a lull in the battle here now. The whole focus has now shifted to Mariupol, where Russian army is in its big offensive, and the report suggests that they have taken over almost 90% of the city and have offered the remaining Ukrainian forces there and the militia that if they lay down their arms and if they stop the fighting, they will be given a safe way out. Rahul.
Thanks, Rajesh. We'll come back to you for more later. Tatiana Kokoreva, look at the images coming out of Mariupol. The kind of misery that's being heaped upon the civilian population over there. You know, the Russian army isn't targeting just military installations, hospitals, buildings, where very clearly civilians are residing, are being targeted. This is hardly what you'd expect from one of the world's greatest armies.
Well, that's massively untrue, though, isn't it? Because the Russian army is targeting military installations that are inside those hospitals. And from the civilians on the ground, we received just that information. You know, they confirm that the fighters of the Azov battalion, unfortunately, sadly, Mariupol is home to the Azov battalion, one of the most ruthless, the most notorious nationalist neo-Nazi formations within the Ukraine's armed forces. So unfortunately, the battles for Mariupol have had to resort to this because these nationalist battalion, members, they are sheltering themselves within those civilian buildings. I know people inside Mariupol who have confirmed multiple occasions that they literally come to houses, they install rocket launchers on top of houses, civilian houses, and people cannot say no because they, in the best scenario, they get beaten up. In the worst scenario, they just get killed.
Okay, let Alexei Goncharenko respond to this. He's a Ukrainian member of parliament. The Russian side alleges that some of these buildings which are being targeted, whether they are hospitals or civilian apartments, are being targeted because members of the Ukrainian defense forces are taking refuge in these buildings, are firing at the Russian columns from inside those buildings. Therefore, they become legitimate military targets.
That's a complete lie, and there are many videos, photos, everything, and also there are some journalists, international journalists working there, and nobody is confirming this lie from Russian Federation. The Russian Federation is lying all the time. Putin was saying for 1 year that he's not going to attack Ukraine, and then he attacked. Then he was saying that he is not going to bomb the cities, and he bombed. So they will lie all the time. They're doing it all the time. Just watch the video. Just watch it photo. And it's not only in Mariupol, it's in Kiev. I just came from a mall which was hit by Russian missile this night. 8 people are killed. What military targets there? And here in Kiev, Indian journalists works, American, British, French, all the world. Ask them, where are these military targets in civilian residential areas of Kiev, which are bombed by Russian army? So that are evidences, there are witnesses of everything which is happening here, like hundreds of international journalists, and no one is confirming the words of this constant lie from Russia about Nazi and neo-Nazi. Who is neo-Nazi? Those who attacked the peaceful country, which is Ukraine, which is defending its land. Those, our president is Jewish. Who is a Nazi? Tell me, please, who started this war? Is any one Ukrainian soldier on Russian territory? No. But more than 100,000 Russian soldiers, their techniques, tanks, artillery, is on our soil, are on our soil now and bombing our cities. And they are saying the word Nazi. Today's Nazi are Russians. Today's Hitler is Putin. And this lady from Sputnik, she is Goebbels. That word who made propaganda. That's all.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That is the best thing you've said to me. Did you bring your Kalashnikov this time around? Because the last time you were waving your Kalashnikov. Do you have it? I wish I could see you. You're asking who's the Nazi, you are. You were the person taking pictures with dead bodies of people burned in Odessa back in 2014. I'm not sure our Indian viewers know this, but I do. I covered those events. So if you want to look for Nazis, take a look at the mirror. You'll see one. I just sent the link
thank you very
to
much.
the producers.
I just want, okay, thank you. I just want to say it's not to this lady, it's no sense. She's a war criminal like Putin, like others. So they will be in international criminal court, like Nuremberg process was. There will be their process. Probably it would be called Mariupol process against these Nazis of 21st century. That is for sure. I just want to address Indian people. Just take a look, please, at Ukrainian cities bombed till the soil. Take a look at killed pregnant women with unborn children. Take a look at our children who are running away from millions of Ukrainians, once again, millions, more than 3 million refugees which crossed the border, almost 6 million internally displaced people. Tell me, please, do you feel this suffering? I know these Indian people are very kind. And I think you are all so shocked with what you see. And one simple question, who did start this war? Did Ukraine invade Russia? Did Ukraine invade Russia before in our history or any time in our history? We are the only nation in the world, and before and for the moment, which voluntarily gave up nuclear weapons in 1994. The only nation in the world. And we did it with the guarantees of safety from Russian Federation. It was United States, Russian Federation, United Kingdom. And where are our guarantees of safety when they're killing our people in thousands? I don't have time, unfortunately.
And Tatiana, it's very clear that you're not going to be able to win this war. From what we can see, in the manner in which the Ukrainian people and army are fighting back, it seems highly unlikely that the Russian army will be able to physically hold Ukraine the way that President Putin may have thought when he went into Ukraine all guns blazing.
But he never said that he wanted to hold anything, let alone occupy anything. That was never the issue here. Unfortunately, the problem that Russia has with Ukraine is exactly what Mr. Goncharenko portrays in himself. Again, this is a person who is right now in parliament. And back in 2014, when nationalists burned people for simply stating their point of view, burned people alive in Odessa in May 2014, he was the one who went online on national television, he took pictures with the dead bodies, saying that, oh, how finally, look at the dead bodies of separatists burning. He actually, he was even interrogated in Moscow because he managed to come here and show his face in response to this. This is the problem. The problem are the people who think that they're better than other people. The Nazi regime that was installed in 2014. And, as for the successes of the Russian army and whether it's going to be able to conquer or hold anything, we'll just wait and see,
Rajesh Pawar, you're on the ground. The Russian side will not accept that the battle plans haven't been executed as they would have hoped for, but it's quite clear it's taking more time than President Putin and his generals would have calculated. How, as a military man, do you see this battle end? What state of war are we in right now? Where do you see this battle progress from here, and how is this likely to end?
Look, Rahul, I think Russians had a very unconventional plan when they attacked Ukraine. They took this war notch by notch higher up, and their strategy seems to be in east of Ukraine to hold as much of territory as possible, to capture as much of territory as possible in north and south of Ukraine, all the area east of River Dnipro. And they have been doing that, and they have been avoiding deliberately not to enter inside the cities, and they are just encircling the cities, but not going inside. I think there are two reasons for that. First, if they go inside the cities where Ukrainian forces are concentrated, they are likely to get very heavy casualties. And on the second hand, if they go inside and if they fire on these civilian areas where these people are, then there are likely to be very high civilian casualties as well. Collateral damage will be very high, and these two reasons are probably what Russia has in mind when they are not entering cities, be it Zaporozhye, be it Kharkiv, be it other big cities on the east of Dnipro. And their strategy is to continue pounding Kyiv, Ivano-Franko, and the cities on the west of Dnipro with airstrikes to keep the pressure and the momentum of war going against Ukraine. Rahul.
Rajesh Pawar and our team on the ground will continue tracking the story very closely for us. For the time being, Tatiana Khukhreva, for joining us on this broadcast. Thank you. Thanks also to Ukrainian Member of Parliament Alexei Goncharenko for joining us, and also Rajesh, who we will keep going back to over the next several hours. It's not just Mariupol. Major cities of Ukraine have been under attack for 26 days now. In the capital of Kiev, a shopping center was hit by Russian shelling in which at least 6 people died. From Kharkiv to Odessa, Ukraine is bleeding but still fighting back.
A shopping mall on fire. Schools shelled. And multiple airstrikes. Ukraine continues to face the unsparing onslaught of Putin's war machine. With the Russian invasion of Ukraine entering its 26th day, the blood is continuing to flow on the streets of Kyiv, Mariupol, and many other cities and towns spread across this big country. Several buildings in the capital city of Kyiv have suffered damage from relentless Russian bombardment in the last 24 hours. A shopping center in Kyiv was heavily damaged after a massive explosion struck the capital city by Russian shelling, leading to at least 6 deaths. Images on your screen show the deadly aftermath of that attack, while rescuers continued to save residents. But the forces advancing from the direction of Hostomel to the northwest were repulsed by fierce Ukrainian resistance. The Russian forces have made an all-out assault on the port city of Ukraine's Mariupol with multiple airstrikes. The western Ukrainian city of Rivne witnessed 2 massive missile strikes on a training ground captured on night camera. The port city of Odessa too has witnessed huge destruction due to shelling from Russian naval artillery. But Ukraine continues to mount a counterattack on Russian forces. The country has refused to back down even after 26 days of constant battering. A Russian warship, for instance, was targeted by Ukrainian forces, leading to a huge explosion off the coast of Odessa. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says that direct talks with his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin is the ultimate solution to end this extended battle.
It is already the 25th day since the Russian military has been vainly trying to find imaginary Nazis from whom they allegedly wanted to defend our people. Just as they are vainly trying to find Ukrainians who would meet them with flowers. And most importantly, the Russian military cannot find a way home. That is why our soldiers help them with the path to God's judgment.
The focus of entire military operations have shifted to a small port city of Mariupol on Azov Sea coast. The city has been surrounded by the Russian troops. The Ukrainians are still resisting in some pockets in Mariupol, and it looks like more than 90% of the city is under Russian control. They have given a choice to the people there that they may leave. They may lay down their weapons, and they can leave the city. They will not be harmed. But if they do not do that, then the offensive will progress and many more casualties can be seen.
With Rajesh Pawar in Kyiv, Ukraine, Bureau Report, India Today.
The Russian army has confirmed that it has struck Ukraine with its newest hypersonic KINZHA'Ls missiles. Russia used the missiles for the first time to destroy a weapons storage site in western Ukraine. Russia has never before this admitted using this high-precision weapon in combat.
A deadly missile which destroys its target with devastating ferocity and with unimaginable speed. Before you breathe, blink, or have any chance to respond. Traveling 5 times the speed for sound, or at an astounding speed of nearly 6,200 kilometers an hour. Enter the super deadly and lightning fast hypersonic KINZHA'Ls missile system, the Russian word for dagger. Kremlin has let the world know that it used the hypersonic missiles to destroy a large weapons depot in Ukraine's western Ivano-Frankivsk region. Russia posted a video saying its missile struck the arms depot in a village in southwestern Ukraine, only 100 kilometers from the border with Romania.
18 марта авиационным ракетным комплексом «Кинжал».
On March 18th, KINZHA'Ls missile system, armed with hypersonic aeroballistic missiles, destroyed a large Ukrainian forces underground depot, contained missiles and aircraft ammunition in the settlement of Delitin of Ivano-Frankivsk region in western Ukraine.
On Sunday, Russia reported the second series of KINZHA'Ls hypersonic missile attacks, targeting a Ukrainian fuel depot near the Black Sea port of Mykolaiv. There is currently no way to stop or intercept the hypersonic missiles because they can change direction while mid-flight. Hypersonic cruise missiles are propelled by a high-speed jet engine and not gravitational forces used by traditional ballistic missiles. Russia may have used MiG-31 fighters to deploy the missiles, which can carry both nuclear and conventional warheads. In any case, this is a massive step up for Russian invasion forces, accused of using oxygen-killing thermo-aerobic vacuum bombs and targeting civilian areas and committing unimaginable war crimes. Will the Western countermeasures and counter-strike military hardware supplied to Ukraine be able to defeat Russia's game-changing missile strikes? With Rajesh Pawar in Kyiv, Bureau Report, India Today.